today I have the nail varnish challenge or nail polish challenge, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, this was actually quite exciting to do because I really like my nail varnish, and but I don't collect a lot of it, so I thought, well, it's going to be super limited with what I can use, and I have a lot of glittery things. So I just got all my nail varnishes out my drawer. I didn't go out and purchase anymore, I just literally used what I had. And I swatched them at the beginning, you could just see there, just so I could get an idea of how they settled on paper. And then I drew my characters from my comic. So if you want to check out my comic, the link is in the description. And so I drew Maska, who is the one at the bottom there with the curly hair. And then I drew Otia, who is her best friend. And I don't think I should have picked my random alien bat characters because they've got a very specific skin tone colour, but you'll see that later. So originally I was going to do Zach as well, but once I'd swatched the nail varnish, I was very lightheaded. Nail varnish fumes are not good, and when it's winter and it's freezing and you can't really open a window and you don't have proper ventilation, it's not a good idea. So I didn't stream last night because I was so lightheaded from the nail varnish. This is so silly, I know. So if you're going to do the challenge, please make sure you've got proper ventilation, or you may end up having a headache and an early night like I did. So I have these tiny little canvas boards. They are adorable, and if I can find a link to purchase them, I will put it in the description. They are really sweet and I love them so much, but I don't use a lot of acrylic based paints. I use watercolours, and watercolour and canvas don't go too well. So I thought, yay, I get to use my canvas boards for this. And I had what else did I have? I had a Clairefontaine 20 centimetre round canvas, and then some Loxley canvas boards as well that were a lot bigger. I've just got them here still, and they were a lot bigger. And then, like I said, when I swatched my nail varnishes and I already experienced like how strong the smell was, I was like, there's no way I can do the bigger canvases. So I chose to do my little mini canvases, and only 2 of them. They measure, what do they measure? They're very small. They're like 2.5 by 3.5 inches. They're like ATC size. They're so cute. I love them so much, and I've got so many of them. And if there's actually some videos very far back in my channel of me painting a Totoro on one of these, and an Isabel, I think. I don't know if I did videos for both. I'll have to try and remember. But yeah, so I had this random, like this purple that I'm using here for Otia's background. I don't even know where that nail varnish came from, and it was so, it felt old and gross, and I was really struggling to get it to lay flat. But now that it's dried, it's gone completely flat, which is kind of cool. So the backgrounds, I decided to look up like the meaning of certain flowers, and I've forgotten what flowers. I know that Otia has lavender, I think. Maska has begonias, I think. I'm not sure. Oh, was it peonies? I think it was peonies. Yeah. And they meant like certain things, and I've forgotten the meanings now. I just quickly looked it up. It wasn't really anything like in depth, but I do like doing little bits of research like that. I like things to have a meaning. They don't always have to have like a strong meaning, but little things that you put in can sort of lead to other things. And yeah, so, oh, here's me making the skin colour. Okay, so I used a grey, a white, a yellow and an orange to try and get like their brown skin colour. They have like a greyish brown skin colour. If you go and check out my comic, you'll see what kind of colour they have in their skin, but it's like, oh, it was a nightmare. Nail varnishes dry so fast, and they're not meant to mix like this. They're not the paint. I was just using a really old brush that I'd messed up the tip on. I'd cut it off accidentally when cutting off some masking fluid. And yeah, so I just used an old brush. Do not use like super nice brushes for this. And I cleaned it with nail varnish remover. So yeah, the skin colour was a nightmare, like wow. But it was kind of fun to try something with such a I want to say like problematic, like it was just a nightmare getting like the right colours that I wanted, and that's what happens when you've got a limited palette. You either mix or you don't have them, and it's a good sort of step back from having so many colours, and I always like challenges like this. So the skin does look really patchy on the painting there, but once I put the lines on, it kind of took away from the patchiness and it looks fine now. Like a day later, they look a lot better than they did when I started. I think I covered like some of them with like clear nail varnish in the end, like some of the areas. But they're really shiny, like it's so glossy nail varnish, so glossy. But I was determined to not try and sneak in a bit of acrylic paint just to get any colour I wanted. I was very adamant on sticking to nail varnish. And again, with any challenge, you can approach it any way you want. You've got to think about how it's challenging you, not how other people see the challenge. I mean, I've done like the 3 marker challenge and been told, oh, you can't do it that way, you can't do it that way. There's no rules on these challenges. The point is to challenge yourself. And if I know that I will get comments being like, oh, well, you didn't do this, this, or this, so it's not a real nail varnish challenge. And I'm like, there's no rules to the challenges. It's just like, at the end of the day, if you're not challenging yourself, you're not challenging yourself. And if you are, you are. And that's it. There's no one that you're affecting. Like, I feel like people are going to penalise me for then using my brush pen. I wanted to use black nail varnish, but at this point I was so lightheaded and I felt really bad. I was like, no, I can't have anyone nail varnish out. I don't know why I reacted so badly, but this is what happens when you don't ventilate properly. Like, please ventilate. So I used to use my brush pen to do the lining, and I think it works quite well. Looking at it today, it's actually kind of like broken through, like the canvas has come through a little bit more, so I guess the paint has settled overnight, which is weird. So I'd probably touch them up, and yes. I also the colour on Masker's sweater there, that is my favourite nail varnish. It's a Barry M one, and it was an exclusive one to Boot, and it's like this, you can't really see the shimmer on the video, but it's got like this gold shimmer to it, and it's peach, and it's my favourite. But yeah, so I use my brush pen, my Tombow Fudenosuke, which I will put a link in the description for, because so many people ask me about this pen, and I don't always give a link to it, so I'll make sure I do that this time. Yeah, so I do recommend doing this challenge, but I recommend doing it on a small scale, or at least with ventilation. Please, for the love of God, please. I can't really think what else to say. I've got some videos coming up that I've had planned for a while, and I'm hopefully going to be working on some collaborative stuff with some YouTubers soon. I don't really know what else I can say at this point. And maybe I should just leave you to the music. Maybe you'd like that. You won't have to listen to me droning on like I normally do. But yeah, so I guess if you try this challenge, let me know. I'd like to see it in the comments. And if you have a favourite nail varnish, let me know. And if you want to know the names of any of the polishes that I've got, ask me directly. I'm not going to put links to everything that I have. But yeah, so let me know if you liked this, and I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.